So recently, our great friend Kuro the artist has made a video talking about Ben 10 and why Ben 10 would just slap everyone. He'd just whip out his meaty alien dick and just whip around everyone with it, bro. But I have, this is a very common clickbaiting tactic. You slap in, hey, this guy over here, you see him? Now you see the two guys you think are strong. This guy would shit on both of them, right? Same thing with Saitama beating Goku and Superman. Now it's Ben 10 beating Goku and Superman. It's just an average clickbait tactic. I mean, even Death Battle used it in the past where, like, yeah, Superman would just absolutely shit on Goku, or people say Goku absolutely shit on Superman. It's just a tactic to get views because people will share it to their buddies on Facebook and get it trending because, yeah, my character will beat your character kind of thing, right? Easy. But the problem here is that this tactic is spreading a lot of misinformation, and now everyone is starting to get on this, like, on the Saitama fad. Everyone's like, Saitama is just like an omnipotent god of nature. Like, he
oh my god,
can beat anything, bro. There's nothing that can stop Saitama. I don't care if you're omnipotent and you have no limits. You cannot beat Saitama. It's kind of like that, except now it's just Alien X, and now apparently Alien X beats everyone. So with me today, I have my other great friend, Chuck the Cyber Cuck.
All right, so to start things off, he was claiming that, Ben basically has access to Alien X, who is, quote-unquote, apparently omnipotent, which we're going to debunk the hell out of later on in the video. Let's talk about what he said regarding his other aliens. For example, Clockwork. Claimed that with his time ray, he can pretty much, touch anything with his rays and no matter what. So it's an elements fallacy, obviously, which we've said several times before. For example, we have the Flash, he can phase through opponents. We have Goku can Hakai people or whatever. Normalist fallacy would be claiming he can do that to anyone, no matter their raw power or their, their overall durability. So, for example, if you want to claim that Clockwork can use his, like, no limits fallacy rays on anyone, then I guess Baragon from Bleach can also decay people and kill anyone, no matter who. I guess Aizen is,
I guess he's full Alien X, bro.
Yeah, and work on him, of course.
If you're using no limits fallacy, I mean, Beerus will just Hawkeye everything. I mean, no matter what, you just Hawkeye Zeno and Alien X at the same time, obviously. But
obviously, so it's like a really stupid claim that that he can apparently use that on Goku or Superman, which, let's be honest, is not going to.
I would like to bring up that he brought up a lot of other street level characters, even though the video was called "Why Ben 10 Beats Goku and Superman." He brought up like random street level characters that clearly do not have any chance against Goku or Superman, so that he could get more ad revenue from his video being longer. We're not going to be touching up on those fodder fucking aliens. If the alien is not above, if the alien is not above Universal, they're just not even relevant in this discussion. We're gonna be proving that later. He also, at one point, before we talk about Alien X, he did at one point talk about how if Ben just scanned Goku and Superman, he would just become them, pretty much. And it's like, we've never really seen Ben 10 do that. Like, when he scans an alien, he doesn't become an exact replica of the alien he copies. I mean, DNA-wise, they'd be the same. I mean, if he copied Goku's DNA, would he become a low-class Saiyan warrior who's, like, almost planet level? Would he become an exact replica or a Saiyan equivalent to Goku? And even if he did, would he know how to use Super Saiyan God? Would he know how to go Kaioken? Would he know any of his techniques like instant transmission? That just seems like a really big jump, in my opinion. I don't think scanning Goku or Superman is going to give him any of their techniques at all. And if anything, Ben 10 has no idea how to fight as any of these aliens. So I'm going to have to say that's another no limits fallacy that he's using here, but let's hear your opinion on it.
When he's scanning the other aliens, he's able to replicate their natural abilities, which is, they can shoot water, they can fucking use their heat, whatever, right? Those are natural abilities that pretty much almost anyone in their race can do, right? Not all Saiyans can, use a Kamehameha. Not all Saiyans can use a Kaioken. Not all Kryptonians can use Infinite Mass Punch. Those are techniques that they learn themselves. They aren't part of their natural, I guess, ability as a race, if that makes any sense.
I'd say Ki Blasts are kind of natural to Saiyans, but I get what you're saying.
Yeah, so for example, let's say, Superman has the Infinite Mass Punch. He has Turquoism Vow, Turquoism Row, which are martial arts, Those are things that they learn. They don't just shit it out randomly once they're born, right? And then Goku, he had to learn all these techniques. He didn't just shit it out, right? These Saiyans have to learn how to control their ki and how to use these attacks. They don't just, use it naturally. And even if Ben 10 could replicate Goku's powers, I mean, even if he could use Super Saiyan 3, I mean, that's like heavy stamina drain. And on to mention he wouldn't be able to replicate the God forms, which obviously are unlocked through way different means. You could also argue it's like a dimensional plateau with that. So, I mean, Ben wouldn't maybe even be able to like fucking know how to control it. So
you also have to learn how to use the transformation. Like, for example, you need to learn how to transform into a Super Saiyan. You need to learn how to access the energies, like the tingling on your fucking back or something. And for Super Saiyan 3, you have to learn how to reach deep within yourself. And who the fuck knows what you have to do for Super Saiyan God or Blue? Like, we have no idea how we would even do that. So it just seems really illogical that Ben would be able to replicate any of Goku or Superman's techniques. And if he did become either of them, he would probably get shat on in a 1v1 no matter what happens. So let's just go on to what's relevant here. And that's obviously Alien X itself. So what does he say about Alien X?
Basically claims that, you know, omnipotence is apparently not something that you should overlook with Alien X. You know, it's a possibility that he's, you know, limitless and all this shit, that he can do anything he wants. Okay, so with the claim that he's omnipotent, tell me how this makes sense. So Alien X is omnipotent, yet he has his power limited by personalities, which there's also a race of omnipotence. Okay, how's that even make any sense?
There a
all of
race
them are
of
just omnipotent.
omnipotence?
So a baby celestial sapient has the same strength as an adult celestial sapient, or he's omnipotent plus. Like, how does that work?
They're all omnipotent, and they're not able to defeat each other or stalemate instantaneously. They're able to steal each other's powers. They are definitely not omnipotent. Omnipotence is obviously can do whatever he wants whenever he wants. So. And as we know, Alien X cannot do that. And in fact, we do have some writer statements. Like, for example, there is one of the main writers, Matt Wayne, who was asked a question if Serena and Bellicus agree, you know, two of Ben's personalities, is Alien X omnipotent? And Matt Wayne replies, in this universe. By in this universe, he's probably referring to obviously Ben 10's universe, or even like the DC universe, although there's more than just a universe. There's more than just one universe. There's a multiverse, there's a fucking hyperverse, there's an omniverse, and there's all of reality, right? So if he's only omnipotent in one universe, then how the fuck is he omnipotent in a multiverse that he is no part of? And there's also the question, and then this was brought up as well, is he like actually omnipotent? They can do anything they want if 2 out of 3 personalities agree. And then Matt replies with yes, but they're usually deadlocked 1-to-1. And this is, of course, only applying to in the universe. And there's also guides like, for example, the Awesome Alien Almanac that also confirms, you know, Alien X can create and destroy entire universes. And if you look at it, it seems like Alien X has like this universal kind of vibe. He's supposed to be like a universal warping threat. There's no real instances where he's ever warped or destroyed anything larger than just a universe. And for example, like there are some like things such as the Chronosapien time bomb, which can be a threat on a multiversal scale. And even when it wasn't, I mean, a multiverse, like if you were high multiverse, would be infinite 4th dimensional universes. So imagine Alien X destroys a universe and recreates it. That's just like one universe. That's universe plus. Okay. Now, multiverse plus would be like the equivalent of that times infinity. So even if you think that was like 1/infinitieth of his power, he could still only be like multiversal. And that seems to be debunked by the concept that there are numerous Alien X's in numerous timelines. The Alien X's are all affected by time. Like Alien X can be detransformed by the Omnitrix. His powers can be restricted. And for example, there's numerous forms of him throughout different timelines. So he's affected by the concept of time. And for example, characters like Mr. Mixie from DC, they're not affected by time. There's characters like the Anti-Monitor who have literally like absorbed or destroyed almost infinite universes. So feat-wise, Alien X is not looking very strong. I mean, in theory, there's only like the lore that he's like this omnipotent creature. But he's not omnipotent, because if he was omnipotent, his powers cannot be taken or limited, which is a fallacy, because as we know, omnipotence is the ability to do anything whenever you want. You are unbeatable. It doesn't matter if you're a gag character with infinite power, you're not beating an omnipotent character. That's just a fallacy. It goes against the term omnipotence.
And also, not to mention that, you know, since Seth mentioned the DC thing, DC and Cartoon Network actually collaborated on making some comic issues, which technically means that Ben could be like in the DC universe, which already debunks Alien X being omnipotent, because I mean, there's actual omnipotent beings in DC, like the Presence, you know,
or nigh omnipotent beings.
Yeah, like Spectre or Lucifer Morningstar, Michael Demiurgo, stuff like that, right? So even if he was like quote unquote not omnipotent, he wouldn't be anywhere near like Mr. Mixelpig, who's like fifth dimensional, and other beings like that.
Yeah, for example, there was like a scene where Mr. Mixie was gonna fucking clap the whole all of reality, and then the presence just pinches him before he destroys like all of reality. So if you think, the Chrono Sapien time bomb destroying like a few timelines or possibly the whole multiverse is impressive, now imagine these characters that are getting finger flicked that can destroy everything. Imagine infinite multiverses and they're like still not shit compared to like top tiers in DC or something like that. Now, I'd like to bring up the concept that the main jip of this video and why it's so popular is why Ben 10 can beat Goku and Superman. So let's explain where Goku can stack up. Now, Goku, as we know, has universal feats versus Beerus. You can scale him to, low multiversal because he's fucking thousands of times stronger than Super Saiyan God that he absorbed into his base early in the Battle of Gods arc, right? By that logic, Goku is low multiversal, and if you imply Ben 10 is only universal plus because he only has his powers in one singular universe, then he would not be on low multiversal levels or even high universal levels. But even if you wanked him and said he was above Goku, also Goku's from different timelines that are way stronger than that. For example, there's Xenoverse Goku, right? I mean, there are numerous like movies and stuff like that or other dimensions and timelines where Goku just by screaming shakes the whole universe and becomes dozens of times more powerful just by fusing or something like that. But that's not even really relevant because, for example, in other timelines like Xenoverse, which is a game all about timelines, there's a character named Demigra. And what Demigra is going to do is he's going to launch a death ball into the time vault and eradicate all of the multiverse or the Xenoverse even. It's basically an uncountable, possibly infinite amount of timelines in this vault. It's multiverse level. And what happens is the multiverse gets destroyed and Beerus and Whis are still watching and they're not even impressed by the fact the whole multiverse was destroyed on top of them. And then Demigra survives and Toki Toki survives the multiverse being destroyed and he saves the Time Patroller, and the Time Patroller comes back and helps stop Demigra, and then Goku in his base form tanks the same attack later on that was going to destroy the whole multiverse, and then the Time Patroller and possibly Goku both come in and shit on Demigra. So you have this Goku that's possibly, fucking infinitely that can survive all of his. So like for example, the Chrono Sapien time bomb was going to destroy everything. Now in Xenoverse, everything was actually destroyed, and these characters are still alive. So it's like Alien X surviving if the Chrono Sapien time bomb actually did go off, which in most likely the case, he wouldn't actually survive that attack.
Okay, so essentially Vilgax wanted to use it to like basically annihilate every version or basically timeline that had Ben 10 in it.
Yeah.
And essentially to counter this, Ben had to use Clockwork, which is basically a Chrono Sapien, and that they can manipulate time. And what he was able to do is like reverse like the effects of the time bomb by basically using like affecting a ripple, and he was able to like basically restore like all the timelines that were destroyed. So even if you want to claim he saved the multiverse, I mean base Goku already like pretty much replicated a feat on that level, if not higher. Actually, you could argue much higher, because the time vault like basically has infinite timelines, and we know there's like time rings and stuff like that even within those universes. So I mean it just gets and then Goku can use Super Saiyan Blue on top of that, which is like a ridiculous multiplier. Yeah. So I mean if base Goku's already in that level, I mean then it's literally a shit stomp in Goku's favor.
I mean, this is another thing as well. Toki Toki actually survived all of history being destroyed. That's a fact. He has the power of all of time and space. And then in Xenoverse 2, you have Mira, who absorbs an egg from Toki Toki, which basically has the same abilities. And here's Goku Super Saiyan Blue dragon fisting this motherfucker. So it's it's very clear that even wiping out on a multiversal scale will not affect some highballed versions of Goku. And then you even have like Dragon Ball Online Goku or Dragon Ball Heroes Goku, who's fucking destroying timelines. It's insane. I mean, later on in Dragon Ball, it's not even Super, but later on in Dragon Ball, they do get to that point where there's obliterating timeline. And before we get into Superman, I wanted to talk about one more claim. This one's the more popular statement about Alien X. And this is by Derek Wyatt. Derek Wyatt said, he's asked, Alien X created universe with a thought. Can he destroy, if he wants to, a multiverse or the omniverse? And this is also possibly confirming there's a multiverse or omniverse in Ben 10, of course, and then the main writer says only in this universe. So that could be implying something else. And then Derek Wyatt says that would take him 6 thoughts. Now, This statement is taken completely out of proportion because you need to understand who Derek Wyatt actually is. Derek Wyatt is the art director for Ben 10. He doesn't write the script. He's not a fucking director or anything. He's not a main writer or anything of the sort. Chuck, why don't you explain a little bit?
Okay, so for example, we have Toshio's like one of Dragonball Super's like writers, but he's not one of the main writers, right? So like, so let's say if he said, "Oh, like Beerus is stronger than this person" or whatever, like yeah, like I mean, we could accept that statement, but like it's not like on the same level as of like Wyatt, because Wyatt's not even a writer. He's not even one of like the fucking what would you call like one of the lower like great value like writers. He's literally just an art director.
Like you have like gold, you know, you're the main writer or creator. Then you have silver, you know, you have the writers and script producers. And then you have bronze medal Derek Wyatt. Like he's not even like a silver medal. He's like literally third option. He's just the art director. One of the people that tells you how to draw him. He's just part of the staff. He's literally great value brand fucking statements.
So think about it this way. You go to Walmart, you get some Oreos, right? You have the main brand Oreos or you have the shit brand Oreos. Which one are you going to go with?
Without further ado, why don't you debunk the fact that Alien X can beat Superman? And let's wrap this up.
Okay, so, you know, Superman, like if you want to use like his lowest form, sure, Alien X could beat him. But, you know, if he's going to use composite Ben 10, you know, with all these forms that, you know, can combine aliens or, you know, pretty much, you know, scan any alien. Why don't we use composite Superman? Let's start with Cosmic Armor Superman, who literally lives beyond the fifth dimension, which Alien X isn't even fifth dimensional because, of course, he's affected by time. And Cosmic Armor Superman is able to, like, literally exist outside the multiverse. So even though Cosmic Armor Superman technically does have, like, the conscience of Ultraman as well, like, the majority of his actions were, you know, basically controlled by Clark himself. So you could say that, you know, he is Superman. But even if you don't want to use him, we can use Strange Visitor, who is actually Superman. And to tell you guys how strong this guy is, he was actually pretty much able to stalemate, you know, with Mr. Mixtelpick, who's, you know, literally fifth dimensional, right? And he basically told him that, you know, like even Mr. Mixtelpick couldn't access like, you know, higher dimension, like sixth dimension or much higher than that. But then later on in the story, you know, Superman gets much stronger, and he actually splits himself into several Supermen. And one of these Supermen was so strong that he could literally hold the universe like from falling apart, like for many, many years, right? Just one part of like, you know, many parts of the whole, right? Mm-hmm. And then once Superman turns into, you know, his whole self, he's able to break through the fifth dimension to reach the sixth dimension, which is literally already beyond what anything that Alien X could be possibly dreaming of, right? Yeah. So, and that's an actual Superman. It's not, you know, Cosmic Armor. That's literally Superman himself. Superman and Goku, their best forms, they should stomp Ben 10, no difficulty.
And it's also stated by one of the writers, Joseph. He states, you know, I always thought of Strange Visitor Superman as less nigh omnipotent and more evolved along with the rest of the universe, and he's beyond humanity's current understanding. And of course, there's just so many different Supermen, you know, like Sword of the Universe Superman, who literally is fusing with the universe itself and becomes possibly nigh omni, depending on how you perceive certain actions. There's just no way that Ben 10 is on the strongest forms of Superman or Goku. I mean, at very best, you might be able to argue he beats like normal Dragon Ball Super Goku, but even then, it's like Dragon Ball Super Goku is also beyond universal tiers. And by the looks of all these guides, author statements by, you know, Matt, you know, one of the main writers, not fucking, you know, great value brand Derek, who said he's omniversal. The actual like one of the writers just says he should only be omnipotent within his own universe. And if these guys are fighting in a neutral space, he obviously wouldn't have that omnipotent power. If he even did have that omnipotent power, which he clearly doesn't, if he can only destroy a universe, maybe he could destroy more than that. But for the time being, all we can really say about Alien X is that he's Universal Plus, can destroy and recreate an entire fourth dimensional time stream above infinite three-dimensional. He's infinitely stronger than you and me. That's a fact. However, there are beings infinitely stronger than that and beings infinitely stronger than that. And there's just so many, there's a staircase. There's so many characters that just go beyond that. I mean, you have, you know, actual omnipotent characters confirmed. Mr. Mixie's can destroy all of reality. I mean, you have the fucking pre-retcon Beyonder, who's easily outerversal almost, or omniversal. There's just so many different characters that are just beyond our comprehension and that you guys really should look into. I mean, DC and Marvel especially, they go fucking crazy. I mean, you have Elder God Demon Bane, who surpassed like the fucking infinite dimension and shit, and create infinite clones of himself from all possible futures and realities that could or couldn't happen. There's just no way in fuck that Ben 10, who's restricted to this one universe and has to decide with his mind, with or without, and has an entire race of people and is infected by time and can have his form reversed and stuff like that, can beat any of these characters. It just doesn't make any sense. I mean, Kuro, I respect the grind. I respect that you're getting the views with this title, but it's my job to obviously destroy misinformation. So I thought I would debunk this video. And of course, special shout out to the 8,000 people that spammed my Twitter and YouTube comments with this fucking video and witch hunted me on my Discord to spam this link. I hope you're fucking pleased. And other than that, guys, if you really like the video, be sure to subscribe and like. We also got another video you're spamming me with, which is apparently 10 Pokemon that can beat Superman, which is also looking pretty ridiculous. So other than that, guys, till next time.